myself amongst this group, so I feel that I understand the challenges quite well. But just to be clear here, introverts love to travel just as much as the next person. But the thought of sort of round-the-clock togetherness can be a bit much. And that's because introverts tend to re-energize through a bit of private space. And not because they're shy or socially awkward, those are myths, but because they just need a little bit of alone time, which can be hard to find on some trips. Now, the Myers-Briggs company does estimate about 57% of the world's population leans towards introversion. Others put this number a bit lower, about a third to a half. Still, that means there's a good chance that either you or somebody you're traveling with is an introvert and has that personality type, which is why we published a story this week, a guide to surviving group travel. And in it, a lot of tips, but I'm going to bring you 3 here today. The first one is try to carve out time alone every single day. Now, this could be just breaking away from your group or eating breakfast alone in your room. Either way, you want to strategize these times, says John Haxton of the Myers-Briggs company. Also, don't apologize for needing this. Sources that I spoke to said they tell their group and travel companions before they go so that the extroverts don't feel that, maybe it's them why the introverts are staying home for the night. Second, you want to keep groups small, but not too small. Some say the sweet spot, about 3 to 4 people, so that if you do sit out from an activity, the group can continue on with their plans. And finally, the golden rule, book your own room. And I call it this because so many people recommended this. Get your own space to relax, recharge. One woman said to escape both morning and night.
So, folks you've talked to in the travel industry, what are they saying? What are the sorts of trips that they want to avoid, that introverts want to avoid?
Yeah, so the people that I talked to, they were really interesting. They knew themselves well. They said it wasn't always this way, but through time, they had learned what worked for them and what doesn't. What doesn't work for a lot of them, they said large groups. One woman called it the, quote, no bus tour rule. Others say packed schedules, not a good idea. Introverts tend to be a bit more introspective, maybe going slower. Crowded locations and party destinations, that's probably self-explanatory. And then finally, constant social interaction. Now, for this one, I think back to that bus tour example. The people that I spoke to, they had rather elaborate ways of getting out of some of these situations that they find themselves in, sort of canned answers. But one man said his travel necessities, headphones, earplugs, and an eye mask. He says he tosses those on, even on a crowded jet. He can suddenly be by himself.
Yeah, and he's all self-sufficient. Understood. Yeah.